Hello everyone, welcome to the video. This is actually my first video on this channel. Hopefully this will be the first of many. Who knows, this might turn into a regular habit for me, or this might just turn into something that I do once every few months just to update my journaling process, to sort of engage with the community. I've been into journaling for about a year now. I've really been enjoying it. I've enjoyed being part of the community, but I want to interact with it more. So that's why I thought I'd start a YouTube channel. I travel a lot. I go on a lot of unusual sorts of adventures. So I thought that having one place to document all of my traveling and all of my journaling would be a good idea. So in this video, I'm just going to sort of catch you up to speed, give you a tour on my journaling so far, show you what I've achieved so far, and then hopefully come up with some ideas on what I'm going to do next. So let's get into it. I thought for each video, I could do a tea of the day. I'm also a big tea enjoyer and sort of keep a bit of a tea diary. So today's this Wittard peach tea. It actually comes in this granulated sugar-like form that you dissolve into hot water, as you can see here. I first got into journaling before I even knew it was called journaling. Last year, when I went on holiday and visited some of the great national parks of America, and I got this. So I'm a massive wildlife fan. I love the outdoors. I love grand nature, all sort of big, numinous landscapes. I really love. It's actually a dream of mine to hike Annapurna one day. I love being outdoors in all senses, and I'd never really been to any of the national parks before. So when I went last year, I went on a big family holiday, and I saw this in one of the shops of the national parks that we went to, somewhere in Colorado, called the National Monument. And I love, it's basically a book. You get like a stamp or a sticker for every national park that you go to. I'll show you, for instance, where I went in Colorado. So you can see you get a stamp, you get a sticker. It's sort of like a massive stamp rally. And I was a fan of stamp rallies anyway, so this for me was just an instant hit. But it didn't feel like it was enough. I felt like I needed more to document my travels and the amazing wildlife that I'd seen. This wasn't quite cutting it. So the first thing that I did was create this little insert in the book, as you can see here. So I created, let me move the tea, I can see this going really wrong. I created this cutout and stuck it in the book, like so. And I used it to cut up maps, used it to stick all of my stickers, the postcards, do tiny little sketches and paintings, as you can see on this side as well. And this took me, I'd say, about a month to do. So I gathered all the materials while I was out in the US and then brought it back to the UK and did it at home. And funny enough, I am going back to the US again this year, and I will be doing more cutouts and bulking this book up some more, because there's still so many national parks that I want to go to. So in a way, this was like my traveller's notebook before I even knew what traveller's notebook was. This was how I was documenting my travel, but it felt a bit limited because all I really felt like I could put in here were my national park trips. You know, I do a lot of travel with work, and I felt like I couldn't just stick it in here. It wasn't encompassing of everything that I wanted, but I didn't really know what I was looking for yet. So after I spent a month getting all of this ready, my mum actually gifted me my first TN, which is just here. So I have a little cat felt sticker on it. I have the Tokyo Station, Traveller's Factory, brass tag. I didn't actually buy this. This was also a gift from my mother, which she got off of Vinted, I believe. But anyway, she brought me my first TN, and at this stage I still had no idea what Traveller's Company was. I knew from my past sketching days that I liked Japanese stationery. I knew about things like Copic markers and Midori paper. I knew that prestige usually came from Japan, but I didn't really know much more. But my mum got me this and a couple of inserts, and she said, look, why don't you put all of your travels in here? I was going to Mexico in the December, and she said you could use this for Mexico as well as the US, as well as Belgium, as well as other places that I have to go to work. So it seemed like the perfect little, you know, tool that encompassed it all. And I think that's why I've still stuck with Travellers, because I like that none of it feels like a massive commitment. You've got your leather cover, but nothing on the inside. If you go too wrong, it's not like you've ruined your leather cover and everything in it. So let's have a look inside of this. So I'm still working on this. These are my first inserts in here that I've ever had. There's still a working process. I got this in the October. It's now June. No, it's now July. So obviously I've had this for about 8-9 months now. I've still got a lot of bulking up and filling to do, because I take a really long time on things because I'm a real perfectionist. But let's go through and I will show you my first Traveller's notebook. So already on the surface you can see, I don't know if it shows up, it's quite worn. I take this normally with me to work in case there are any stickers going at work. I usually bring it with me in case I find any stamps out and about. So this isn't a Traveller's notebook that sits at home and stays pretty. I think maybe eventually I will get one for that. But for now, this is just my everyday working. Yeah, it's a beast. It barely closes. I've got so much in it. So here's my inside. So this I got at the London Pen Fest, which was in February. And it is my name, Abby, in Japanese. Also, the lady says, it could say tramp or something else, who knows, but I trust her. And then on the inside here, I have a little analog lovers sticker from Traveller's Notebook, a little pocket. I think when I go away, I usually use this to keep things in, but for now I'm just using this because it looks pretty. And I have 2 inserts in my TN at the moment. So I have the Love and Trip insert, which is the first ever insert I started all the way back in October, and the Traveller's Notebook diary, which I'm not using as a diary. I'll show you what I'm using it for in a bit. I then also have this, which is like a business card, I think, keeper. I don't use it for that. I sort of use it to keep templates in, so I know how big stickers are and how big of a gap I should leave for them, as well as my stamp template. Here, I just have a little zip wallet. keep various bits in if I'm going to be journaling in a cafe or something like that. Instead of bringing all my stuff, I can just chuck the necessities in there. Another little wallet. And then finally, my pencil board. So my pencil board, my mum also got for me off Vinted. It's a cinema based one because I really enjoy film and filmmaking. There we go. So that's my traveller's notebook at a glance. I'll now show you through what I have inside the inserts. So here we go. Here is my first insert. It is the Love and Trip limited edition insert. I really love the red. I wish I'd known about Traveller's notebook sooner so that I could have gotten a red Love and Trip leather cover. I think I would have preferred it to the brown, but alas, I was too late to the party. I'm still happy I got this. I really love the colours. I love the gold emboss on it, this sort of like rosy gold. As you can see, I've completely plastered it in stickers. I've got a couple of Traveller's notebook ones, a couple of other various stationery ones, and some washi tape, some little cats along the bottom. So this insert for me really, I think, is a progression. You can see at the beginning where I was a bit not too sure on what I was doing, whereas now towards the end I'm starting to get a bit more creative, a bit more open with it, and not as stressed about what I put on the page. I think my style of journaling to other people's is going to be quite unusual. I'm definitely a maximalist. I believe in no free paper and I believe in no free space on the paper, which is quite different to a lot of these channels I watch. Some people are very delicate and girly, and their handwriting and their journaling is so pretty, but I don't think I'm made like that. My journaling is definitely very different, as you will see. So here we go, here's the inside. I won't show you the first page because it has my contact details and phone number on it so that it can be returned to me. But I will show you the second page. I feel like it's pretty obvious I was a novice here and I didn't really know what I was doing. I chose to do it on the Colorado National Monument because, as I said before, that's where I saw the American passport book for the first time. So I felt like it made sense that the place where I first saw the book that got me into journaling should be the place that I do my first entry on. I just painted a little scooter I saw on the side of the road there, cut up some of the map, put in some little facts about it. Overall, I don't really like this page, if I'm honest, but I feel like it's still important to show what it was like when I first started. So we go on to the second page. This is when we went to Pikes Peak, also in Colorado. You can see I've got some of my stickers. I drew the mountain back here. I've got the vehicle permit. Overall, I'm not also too keen on this page. I think this drawing unfortunately gets lost next to this map. I feel like these stickers get lost. I do feel like there's too much going on here. I know I said that I'm a maximalist, but even for me, this is too much. I feel like in this page, I started getting a bit more of a sense for layout and of what I wanted going on. So this was on the $1 Million Highway in Colorado, which is also Route 550. It's a massive highway that's quite dangerous to drive on. It goes through the mountains from west Colorado down to sort of southwest Colorado. You go through all of these beautiful mountains. There are tons of aspen trees, wolves, although I didn't actually see one. Here's the route that we took. and picture of the road, little cat stamp I got. So I drew these trees here. I painted them to make them look like autumn colours. I've got some stickers. I feel like this page is a bit better because it doesn't all blur into one. It's its own, it takes in different aspects, but it doesn't mix them too much. Next was Arches National Park. Also, I apologise to anyone who is actually from this area of the US. You're probably thinking that I'm jumping around geographically all over the place, because so far none of the areas that I've done are in order. But for my journaling, I had to do what came to me at the time. So although none of these are actually in order, it's the order that they came out on paper. So that's how it is. But I painted this arch here. I think I used some paper. I actually got something packed to me and vinted in and used it as a background. Cut up a postcard, some maps, included some more stickers. You can see here I included some more bits of the map. And these flaps, like I've done here and on the page before, you'll see that I do this a lot. I love a flap, I love texture, I love feeling something and being able to open and interact with it. So I've got a lot of this sort of different things in paper and flaps on this big thick paper that's almost like cardboard. Next up, just some more paintings that I've done, some more drawings, some washi tape, various stickers. I feel like at this stage I was now in a bit of a run with it. I found my feet, I knew what I was doing, and I was a bit more comfortable when sticking stuff. Here's me and my dad. This was at Great Sand Dunes National Park. So I started incorporating some photos printed off on the worked printers, of course. Some maps for the mountains that are in the background. This sticker my boyfriend actually got me. It's not even from America, but I thought it fit with the underwater, like reservoir page. So this was actually the last page I did from my trip to Colorado. So you can see here I've got my little boarding pass, some of which I've obviously blanked out. I have a few more stickers. This is the route that we did the entire thing. So starting at Denver, going across to Arches, down and back up. Next on is my trip to Mexico in December. Again, a boarding pass that I've blanked. Picture of the Mexico City tube station. Just some washi tape I used. The next page I'm going to skip because it has some personal details on it. This was sort of about central Mexico City, the really touristy bit. I did actually go quite a bit out of the way of the central bit, and I'll put some photos on screen now. I was in Mexico for work, so I couldn't really have my phone out to record a lot of the time, but I feel like this still. So I was actually on a work trip in Mexico, so I couldn't actually have my phone out too much to take photos of other areas. So I sort of just did what was best for the time. I think I've skipped 2 pages. Yeah, we'll have to go back one. This was, I'm going to pronounce this wrong. I'm so sorry, but this was Chapultepec Park, which was near where I was staying with my friend. it was like a big park, which in Spanish apparently means grasshopper park. It was really beautiful. See another little flap here I've done. This was an ice cream shop I went to. These were some tacos I had that were probably some of the best ever. The street food in Mexico is on another level. I would really recommend it. Back to this page. Here is the Museum of Anthropology. I would definitely recommend visiting this museum. I'll put some pictures up of it now if you're ever in Mexico City. It is amazing. Even the entrance to the museum and the main like courtyard of the museum is a spectacle, let alone the things that are in it. But I did a couple of sketches while I was there of the artifacts and things that were on show. I was really lucky. I went on a random Tuesday evening in December. I pretty much had the entire thing to myself. Nobody else was there. But I can imagine that this is definitely a place that gets busy or touristy on weekends or in Mexico peak season. It was also really cheap to get into, so I would definitely recommend going here if you're a big history fan like myself and you're in Mexico City. This was from the gift shop of the museum. These are two artifacts that I saw and I sculpted. This here was actually a postcard, but when I saw it in the gift shop, I knew it was the perfect size for my TN and it would be an amazing background, so I had to get it. I actually did 2 pages on this museum because I was so impressed. This is a sticker that I ordered off Etsy, but here's some other sketches I did. You can see I've got my ticket here. Here's me in front of one of the massive, I think they said it was a sacrificing table, but it was massive. It was on the wall, it was absolutely huge. And some other various, again, this here was from the tourist shop. And I don't know if you can see, but I actually have one of the traveller's elastic bands down the centre of this book. And that is because the book actually split in half on this page. I think I put so much in it, the binding literally broke. And so it's currently being held together by an elastic band. I think I'm shocked that it did this, but at the same time, it's only 2 staples keeping the whole thing together. And I've bulked it out so much, I'm not entirely shocked. So the next page I'm going to skip again because it's got some mentions to my job and other things in it, and I just don't want to show that on camera. So this next page is actually from when I went to Teotihuacan, which was some pyramids just outside of Mexico City. Found by the Aztecs but not built by the Aztecs, as I learned. I made this page out of paper cutting and of layering different paper. Sorry if you can hear my dog in the background, by the way. And I created these little flaps with some of the tickets I got, and then here just with some Mexican stamps I collected while I was out there. And then finally, this is my journey home from Mexico. I then go on to Belgium and other bits, but as you can see, this is still a work in progress. So I think I will show this when it's a bit further down the line. So this is, yeah, a complete tour of my first Love and Trip book. So you can see I've still got quite a bit in it. My goal is to finish this hopefully within the next month and a half because I am quite behind. I only just finished Mexico, which was in December, and it's now mid-July. So I do take my time with journaling, perhaps too long. I think that's something I'd like to work on next year, is getting a bit quicker. But that's my first book in my TN. That's my Love and Trip book. So this is my second book. This is the Diary Traveller's Notebook. You can see it looks like this. I don't actually use this as a diary. I think it was just an insert I got off Vinted pretty cheap, because I think I brought this in like March when most people already had their diaries. So I got it really cheap, because who else is going to be buying a brand new diary in March? I use it to make a little collage of whatever I've been thinking about that month, or just something I'm interested in that month. I've also started trying to junk journal in here as I started learning more about the journaling community and things other people have done. I saw a lot of junk journal videos on my Instagram and it looked really good fun. So that's what I've done in here. I've got Pom Pom Purin, who I love, if you couldn't already tell. I've got, you know, some sushi stickers, some little cats, the TN Analog Lovers sticker. This one is one of my favourite stickers they've ever done, hence why it's on the front of the Traveller's book. It had to go somewhere special, I knew that. So when we open up inside, we've got a little photo of me. This was actually taken in Belgium. And just some stickers I've been collecting over the year. See how pretty it is. I love holographic stickers like this. Any sort of holographic thing I'm in love with. You can see here I've got the little hamster who's friends with Pom Pom Purin, Kerber Karopi going on. So there are these two first pages I'm just sort of using as like a sticker dump to put all of the stickers I've had in the year, because sometimes I get so scared sticking them. I have to put them somewhere, so I just put them here, and hopefully by the end of the year these are going to be filled with all of the stickers I've got throughout the year. So, you know, off a little bottle, off a card I got, that sort of thing. So the first page is this, a little Pom Pom Purin page. So you can see here I started a little bit with the junk journaling. This is where I've started doing a bit of my tea diary. These are from a wrapper, these are from the actual blind boxes I got these from. Again, a little sweet wrapper, a sticker I got from the London Pen Fest. On the next page, so this was when the Winter Olympics were going on. I'm actually not that happy with this page. I feel like there's not enough going on with it. It's too blank for my liking, but we've got an ice hockey player. I was really rooting for Canada. Unfortunately, I think they came second. Ruined my evening. We've got, of course, the famous American ice skater, and then some stamps from the Winter Olympics. Next up is, this month I was really thinking a lot about caterpillars. So it is a caterpillar page. Anyone else in the UK will know Colin and Connie. They're the two mascots of like a big superstore cake over here. It's really famous. I cut up one of the boxes and put it on here. We actually got these for my co-worker's birthday, and I stole his cake box off him as soon as he'd finished eating it so that I could use it for my junk journal. We've got a little Caterpie Pokemon card in here, just some stickers, and then a caterpillar that I drew. This is my favourite sticker, I love it. It's so stupid. Next up, this month, I guess I was really thinking about killer whales and orcas, so I did a sea themed page. You can see a couple of stickers I've got, some washi tapes. For some reason, this page is really weird. I think this card is too thick and it's been stuck over the pages. And yeah, it feels weird. You can't really fully open it. I guess that's my lesson learned, not to stick something so big and thick over 2 pages. Next up, so this was the start of my junk journaling. You can see here I've got another tea sachet. I don't really know what they're called. This was from a restaurant in London. I stole off the table to put in my junk journal. We've got a sweet wrapper for some sweets. One of my co-workers brought in a Scottish like off one of my porridge packets. This was off a wine bottle when I went out with my girlfriends from work for a big drink. This is a frog page I did. I love frogs. This will probably become very evident the longer that this channel goes on. So this is a frog that I painted. I just found him on Pinterest and loved how stupid he looked, so I couldn't stop myself from painting him. This frog, so these like tree frogs are from a travel guide that I cut up. If you want free pictures of animals and loads of beautiful free images, I really suggest going to like your local travel agents. Like, I don't know, in the UK we've got, God, I can't even think, but go to your local travel agents, take all of the books, they're free, and then just use them to make collages. That's what I do, and I think for these animal pages it really works. Next we've got another junk journaling page. So this is from a cider I had, you can see from my oats. I've got the Wittard, which was actually the packaging for this tea. Some more sweet wrappers. Peach is my favourite flavour. And some Miffy stuff I got, and then some other little stickers to fill it in. So this page is still in process. I'm doing a gardening page. But yeah, that's that. So that is my traveller's notebook. I don't even know what this one, I can't even tell you what it's for, but I'm just going to call it a dump book. There's my dump book. So there's everything so far. I think as the channel goes on, I'm probably going to start more journals. I want to start a proper junk journal, although I think I'll do that once this is full, because I don't see much point in wasting another insert until this one's full. Plus it wouldn't actually fit in here. I think I'm probably going to try and streamline this a bit more, make it a bit faster. But overall, this is my 8 to 9 month journaling journey. So I feel like it shows you can achieve quite a lot in quite a short amount of time. When you see, you know, how out of sorts I was in the beginning of this versus how the end, when I got into my rhythm, I think it's a pretty good system. And if you've never tried journaling before, I really would recommend Traveller's Notebook. I know they're expensive and it's a lot, but I think this sort of freedom of switching out your infills, of not feeling like there's a massive commitment, because I don't know about you, but I know that I've brought loads of notebooks in the past and just never used them because I'm too scared to write in them. Whereas with these, the infills start off so small and so unassuming, and they're so cheap, you're not scared to actually start working in them, because you know that this beautiful cover won't be affected by whatever the infills. Like, even if you mess up in here, it won't affect what's going on in here. So I would really recommend it. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully in about a month I'll do another video. I'm really trying to get a hold of the Traveller's Trunk. So you may see a video soon of me going on a day trip to go and get the Traveller's Trunk. Hopefully within the next month I'm going to make another one. But thank you very much for watching. Thank you for watching my first video. I hope that I'll see you again.